Today, on the Canadian Way, the 2019 Toyota Highlander Limited. That's the perfect SUV for the hot mom who wants to bring the kids to the soccer game.
Bonjour, hi. I borrowed this truck from my dad. The Toyota Highlander arrived here in Canada in 2003. Not to forget that the first generation Highlander was a V6 2.7 liter, which was a dinosaur on gas, but Highlander these days are more economic. This is the third generation, which arrived in 2014, but this particular one is a 2019 and it's worth brand new $50,000, but nowadays it's worth $44,000. And the reason why it didn't lost so much value, it's because the new one worth $60,000 and it have a direct effect on the depreciation. Today I'm gonna review it and show you why it's the perfect vehicle for this hot mom who wants to bring the kids to the soccer game. Let's begin the exterior of the Highlander. My first impression is that it looks weird. Front end of the Highlander looks really aggressive and muscular, but it really doesn't fit with the profile of the hot soccer mom. Until we get on the side, which looks like a minivan.
Andrew, be careful! The Canadian tractor!
Ugh. These are 245/55 19-inch wheels, which I think they're pretty nice. But here, it's plastic that covers the wheel behind. On this plastic will peel off with the years. The rear end looks like a Sienna, which is not hot, but as the previous generation, it has the same feature, this button here, which you can press on the trunk and you can store some things easily in the back, like soccer balls. Get in the interior with the trunk. Slow as usual. Here with the third row seat up, we have 391 liters of cargo space. Third row down, we have 1,198 liters of cargo space, which is a lot of balls. With the second row down, we have 2,370 liters of cargo space, which is huge. Sadly, you can't lower the second row seats from here. Comparing to the previous version, here we don't have any 12-volt outlet in the back, so you can't plug any electric coolers or accessories, sadly. Although you have some beautiful floor mat here, which is made of great quality rubber, so you don't damage the back of your third row seats. So this trunk here is seat-apart proof and dishwasher proof. Getting access to the third row seats. Door opens pretty wide and it's simple. Just pull the lever right here. And here we go. Here in the third row seat, we have some climate vents here, which they don't have in all vehicles. Although the seat is moved as far as he can, and the seat here is not made for adult. Getting access to the second row seat, which is the same door, Charles. Access is easy, have a tons of space, enough space for my legs room, enough space for my head rooms, and the seats are pretty comfortable. In the rear door here, we have a nice feature for the kids to prevent them to have the sun in their face. Thanks, Toyota. That's a nice feature. Here we have a nice wood trim and an automatic window switch. Oh, and we also have here two cup holder. Back you have an automatic AC system and you have heated seats, which is pretty nice. Getting in the front seat, again the door opens pretty wide. The seats are very comfortable, everything is easy to access, the steering wheel is well placed. The presentation of the interior is very nice. It's a very nice place to be and to live. The driver's seat here is very nice and so much comfortable. Door panel here is very nice. We have here a nice wood luxury trim, and all the windows are automatic on the limited version only. We also have here the memory seats. We also have here inside the door the cup holders. Here in the dash we have a nice place here to store some drugs, which is pretty nice. Next to the steering wheel there's a tons of switch for the driver. Here next to the steering wheel you have a particular switch which we didn't know what it was made for, but it's used for when you cross a vehicle. It will automatically shut down the I-beams. This switch here is the switch that turn off the system that turn off the engine while you're on the traffic lights. This switch is made to show you around the vehicle. Simple as this. Take a look. This is what it made. This is made for opening the trunk. This is the switch to heat up your wiper. This is the switch to for your heated steering wheels, and this is the parking switch sensors. Here in the cluster you can change your drive mode by pressing on those arrow here, which is useless. Otherwise there's nothing else that comes out from the ordinary. Your music, you got your compass, pretty much stuff that you find in other vehicles. The steering wheel is very nice. It's wrapped with a beautiful and quality leather, and you have all the same button that every other cars have. The infotainment is really easy to use. You have button on the side to help you. Nothing really major to say about. But on the limited version, well, you have the GPS system, and that's a must. You also have a JBL sound system, which really sounds amazing on the limited version. These are the kinds of climate control which I really adore, with those big knobs here, so everything is well placed and the big buttons are there where you want to, so you have access to everything you need. There's a huge storage place here which you can hide your phone, let it charge, and you can pass your wire here through the small hole, which is pretty nice. You can also hide your gun. Nice. Here we have your center differential switch. You have the downhill assist control. You have your snow switch, and you have your traction control switch. Next to the shifter you have heated seats or cooling seats, which is pretty nice. Here in the center armrest you have a huge ton of place to hide stuff here. Here you have a mirror so you can see your children fighting each other. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? We have a V6 3.5 liter which have 295 horsepower and 265 foot-pounds of torque, and combined with an 8-speed automatic transmission, it averaged 10.4 liter per 100 kilometer. We have disc brake on each corner and independent suspension on each corner. Driving the Highlander, the thing I've noticed is the visibility. There's huge windows, so there's a lot of visibility everywhere I'm looking at. Another thing I've noticed is how comfortable is the Highlander, which is exactly the same as the previous generation. And also, because the seats are high, you can see where the hood finish. Sound deadening of the Highlander is one of the best in class. It's even better than the previous one. The steering wheel is more precise than the previous generation, but it's still completely disconnected, which you don't feel the road at all. And it's not sporty at all. For everyday driving, the drivetrain is more efficient and it's more economical than the previous one. Brake pedal feeling is kind of spongy, which I really don't love. The handling of the Highlander is definitely like other SUVs of its category, which is definitely not sportier at all. And there's a little bit of body roll. On the floor, the Highlander just to see how it accelerates. The acceleration are very good for a vehicle that size. You won't have any problem overtaking cars on the highway. Overall, the Highlander is a very comfortable SUV for the family.
So Andrew, Highlander.
It's a great SUV for all the family and for that hot moms who wants to bring the kids to the soccer game.
Thanks for watching. So, well, okay, so the question is, Highlander or Pilot?
Oh. Good question. Honestly, good question. I think it's all about a question now of
Personally, I found the Pilot a little bit more fun to drive, but it's still boring.
yeah, but what about the look of the pilots between?
The look, forget it. It's the Pilot. The Pilot looked like a rational minivan SUV. The Highlander looked like a rational minivan SUV that's tried to be tough. That's why I go for the Pilot for that. The other question, Highlander or Sienna all-wheel drive?
Well, now, if you have a family, I'll go with a Sienna all-wheel drive.
Me too.
Yeah, because like the space in the Sienna, you have a vacuum behind that you can.
Yeah,
you can totally clean your van.
You can space. You can let less people live in your car,
Yeah.
which is a terrible idea because then he's gonna.
I would live in a Sienna, of course.
Would you live in an Highlander? No.
No, because
It's smaller.
No.
It's smaller.
Yes, it's smaller. The Sienna is definitely like the van life. You can definitely live in the Sienna.
Andrew, where would you place the Highlander on the Canadian scale?
It's Canadian approved.
I agree with you because it's very comfortable and it's reliable.
And you can see like the first generation Highlander still on the road these days.
Yeah, I know. So there you go. Highlander Canadian approved by unanimous decision.